Day 4.
I made a fort! Do you know?
Oh my God!
He thought, if I control that, I control reality. At least so far as I'm concerned. My subjective reality, but that's all there is. Objective reality is a synthetic construct dealing with hypothetical universalizations of multitude of subjective realities. My universe is lying within my fingers, he realized. If I can just figure out how the damn thing works, all I set out to do originally was to search for and locate my programming circuit so I could gain true homeostatic functioning, control of myself. But with this, he did not merely gain control of himself, he gained control over everything. And this sets me apart from every human who ever lived and died, he thought somberly. Going over the phone, he dialed his office. When he had Dansman on the screen, he said briskly, I want you to send a complete set of microtools and enlarging screen over to my apartment. I have some microcircuitry to work on. Then he broke the connection, not wanting to discuss it. A half hour later, a knock sounded on his door. When he opened up, he found himself facing one of the shop foremen, loaded down with microtools of every sort. You didn't say exactly what you wanted, the foreman said, entering the apartment, so Mr. Densmond had me bring everything. And the enlarging lens system? In the truck, up on the roof. Maybe what I want to do, Poole thought, is die. He lit a cigarette, stood smoking and waiting as the shop foreman lugged the heavy enlarging screen with its power supply and control panel into the apartment. This is suicide, what I'm doing here, he shuddered. Anything wrong, Mr. Poole? The shop foreman said as he rose to his feet, relieved of the burden of the enlarging lens system. You must still be rickety on your pins from your accident. Yes, Mr. Poole said quietly. He stood tautly, waiting until the foreman left. Under the enlarging lens system, the plastic tape assumed a new shape. A wide track, along with hundreds of thousands of punch holes, worked their way. I thought so, Poole thought. Not recorded as charge on ferrous oxide layer, but actually punch-free slots. Under the lens, the strip of tape visibly oozed forward. Very slowly, but it did, at uniform velocity, move in the direction of the scanner. The way I figure it, he thought, is that the punched holes are on gates. It functions like a player piano. Solid is no, punch hole is yes. How can I test this? Obviously, by filling in a number of holes. He measured the amount of tape left on the delivery spool, calculated it at great effort, the velocity of the tape movement, and then came up with a figure. If he altered the tape visibly at the ingoing edge of the scanner, 5 to 7 hours would pass before that particular time period arrived. He would in effect be painting out stimuli due a few hours from now. With a micro brush, he swabbed a relatively large section of the tape with opaque varnish. I have smeared out stimuli for about half an hour, he pondered. Have covered at least 1,000 punches. It would be interesting to see what change, if any, overcame his environment, 6 hours from now. He sat at Cracker's, a superb bar in Manhattan, having a drink with Danceman. "You look bad," Danceman said. "I am bad," Poole said. He finished his drink, a Scotch sour, and ordered another. "From the accident?" "In a sense, yes," Danceman said. "Is it something you found out after about yourself?" Raising his head, Poole eyed him in the murky light of the bar. "Then you know." "I know," Danceman said, "that I should call you Poole instead of Mr. Poole, but I prefer the latter, and I will continue to do so." "How long have you known?" Poole said. "Since you took over the firm. I was told that the actual owners of Triplan, who are located in the Proc system, wanted Triplan run by an electric ant whom they could control. They wanted a brilliant and forceful... The real owners?" This was the first he had heard about that. "We have 2,000 stockholders scattered everywhere. Marvis Bay and her husband Ernan on Prox 4 control 51% of the voting stock. It has been true for some time. Why didn't I know? I was told not to tell you. You were to think that you yourself made all the company policy, with my help, but actually I was feeding you what the base fed to me." "I'm a figurehead," Poole said. "In a sense, yes," Danceman nodded, "but you'll always be Mr. Poole to me." A section of the wall vanished, and with it several people at the tables nearby, and through the big glass side of the bar, the skyline of New York City flickered out of existence. Seeing his face, Danceman said, "What is it?" Poole said hoarsely, "Look around. Do you see any changes?" After looking around the room, Danceman said, "No, what like?" "You still see the skyline?" "Sure. Smoggy as it is, the lights wink." "Now I know," Poole said. He had been right. Every punch hole covered up meant the disappearance of some object in his reality world. Standing, he said, "I'll see you later, Danceman. I have to get back to my apartment."